Hello, welcome to Coffee with Jude. Today we're going to talk about the inner and the outer story. Now, what do you do to make your book engaging and interesting? You can't just tell this happened and then this happened and then he did that and just be telling everything about the events. That isn't engaging enough. It has to go deeper than that. It has to have some kind of a meaning or an inner story. So let me show you a video that I recorded a little while back that describes how to use the inner and outer story in your book. I'd like to read from Sunlight in My Shadow what I stumbled upon as being my inner story as I wrote the book. I'm watching the soft morning light coming through the raindrops on the window and reflecting on my past. My lesson is about blowing up the secret, the part inside of me that wants to hide who I really am, the part of me that walks with my head down and my tail between my legs because of all the shame. No wonder I acted like that, I realized as I wrote. No wonder I didn't hold my baby. I thought I would be protecting myself from lingering hurt and pain. I was caught in the web of guilt and secrecy. I thought I could undo my sins against the church or my culture with secrets. No wonder I gave my baby away. I made the decision before I knew that lump in my belly was an exquisite child that I could not help loving. And then I believed it was too late to question my decision. In understanding the young person who was me at 15, 16, and 17 years old, I came to love her and forgive her for all the mistakes she made. I put my arms around that me child and I weep for her and love her. The fear of rejection, the fear of standing up for my own feelings by simply expressing them, these have been the ghosts in my closet. Writing my story has opened the door to let the ghosts scatter. It has brought sunlight to the shadows. Now stay tuned and watch my little video about the inner and outer story and description of what is memoir. The other day I was at my improv class and I was telling this lady that I had written a book, my memoir, and she said, "Oh, is it about your mom or your grandma or something?" And I said, "No, exactly not, because a memoir actually is your own story and it tells it from your perspective, usually written in the first person." So stay tuned. Memoir is a written story about a part of your life. It can have a theme or something that ties it together, but it's not your whole life story. That is autobiography or biography. For instance, Lincoln was born on such and such a date, and then this, and this happened. But memoir is a more specific part, and it has to have some kind of a theme or meaning or question that's answered in the story. The outer story is something that can be filmed if you had a camera. And so it's those solid events. However, the inner story goes much deeper than that. The inner story is that part that reveals itself through the writing. It's the meaning. It's the reason you wrote the story. It's how you change during the writing. For instance, the inner story in Sunlight on My Shadow was finding out, and this wasn't revealed until the very end of the book, after I'd written most of the copy, that there's quite a bit of damage done by keeping a secret, because I couldn't talk to anyone about my dilemma. We told everyone I had a kidney disease, and so I couldn't really be the person that I truly was. And I was always trying to protect the secret, so I couldn't be fully alive and
and in my spirit. And so when I finally wrote the book, I understood so much more about that teen child who I had so much shame and regret. And I came to understand that how harmful it was that I kept that secret my whole life, because I was kind of couched in my emotions and always a little tentative, not knowing how to be, because I had this secret that I had to protect. And so that was my inner story.